What if I told you the financial system that runs the world today might be facing its biggest challenge since World War II? Could BRICS 2025 be the modern version of Bretton Woods 1944, rewriting the global economic rulebook? Before we dive in, hit that subscribe button, give this video a like and drop a comment with RBS Horizon to join the community. Let's get into it. In 1944, while the Second World War was still raging, 44 nations gathered in a small town called Bretton Woods in the United States. Their mission: to rebuild a shattered world economy and design a system that would prevent another Great Depression. The result was the Bretton Woods Agreement, a global framework that created the IMF, the World Bank, and most importantly, cemented the US dollar as the backbone of world trade. Fast forward to 2025, and the story feels strangely familiar. Once again, nations are gathering, not in a hotel in New Hampshire, but across continents, discussing how to reshape global finance. This time it's not about recovery from war, but about escaping the dominance of the dollar, and leading that movement is BRICS. The old order, Bretton Woods 1944. After the chaos of the Great Depression and the devastation of WWII, the world needed stability. The US, emerging as the economic superpower, took the lead. The idea was simple but powerful: fix exchange rates, tie currencies to the US dollar, and tie the dollar itself to gold. This gave the world confidence. Countries could trade, invest, and rebuild with predictable value. But it also made the US dollar the center of everything. From oil to gold to global loans, everything ran through the dollar. That's how America gained its economic superpower status. The IMF became the world's financial referee, and the World Bank became its development arm. The system worked. For a while, cracks in the system. Over the decades, cracks started to appear. When the US abandoned the gold standard in 1971, the dollar was no longer backed by anything tangible. Yet, it remained the world's reserve currency. This meant the US could print dollars to fund wars, trade deficits, and debt, while other countries had to earn or borrow them. As globalization expanded, the rest of the world became increasingly dependent on a system controlled by one country. And that imbalance is exactly what the BRICS nations want to change. The rise of BRICS. The BRICS story began in the early 2000s, coined by an economist at Goldman Sachs, who saw these 5 countries, Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa, as the engines of future growth. Over time, these nations turned that concept into a real political and economic bloc. By 2025, they represent around 45% of the world ES population and over 30% of global GDP, and they still growing. Now, in 2025, BRICS is expanding again, adding new members like Saudi Arabia, Iran, Egypt, and the UAE, major players in energy, trade, and geopolitics. Their message is simple: the world's financial power should not be controlled by one currency, one system, or one country. The new vision, BRICS 2025. They're building alternatives, alternative banks, payment systems, and trade routes. The new development bank is already funding projects without using dollars. The group is working on a shared digital payment system, sometimes referred to as BRICS Pay, which would allow countries to trade directly using their local currencies. And they're even discussing a potential common settlement currency, not to replace the dollar overnight, but to reduce dependence on it over time. It's a slow shift, but make no mistake, this could reshape how money moves around the world. BRICS versus Bretton Woods. Let's line them up side by side. Bretton Woods 1944 was about creating order out of chaos, with the US taking the lead. BRICS 2025 is about breaking away from that order, with emerging powers sharing control. In 1944, the West wrote the rules. In 2025, the rest of the world wants a seat at the table. Bretton Woods built a system around one currency, the US dollar. BRICS wants a system built around many. One focused on centralization and stability. The other aims for multipolarity and flexibility. The challenges ahead. It's one thing to challenge the dollar, it's another to replace it. BRICS nations have different political systems, conflicting interests, and uneven economies. China dominates in size, but India doesn't always share Beijing's vision. Russia faces sanctions. Brazil and South Africa struggle with internal issues, and while new members bring energy and wealth, they also bring new rivalries, like Saudi Arabia and Iran. So can a group this diverse really create a unified financial system? That's the billion-dollar question. Why it matters. This isn't just about economics, it's about power. If BRICS succeeds, it could weaken the dollar's grip on global trade. That means countries could bypass Western sanctions, build their own networks, and fund development on their own terms. But if it fails, it could expose the limits of multipolar cooperation and reinforce the dollar's dominance for another generation. Either way, What ACES happening now could shape the next century as deeply as Bretton Woods shaped the last one. Conclusion. Are we witnessing the birth of a new world financial order, or just a political statement dressed up as economics? The 1944 system gave the US global dominance for nearly 80 years. The 2025 movement could redefine that power balance if the world is ready for it. If you found this breakdown helpful, make sure to like the video, subscribe, and comment RBS Horizon so you don't miss the next deep dive, because the world is changing fast and we're here to make sense of it.